Welcome back, Jets Nation. It's your boy, Jersey Boy. We're back at it again, and our boys went to work. We came back from the bye week. We were able to get another W, this time against the Eagles, just narrowly beating them out 31 to 28. Let's check out some of these multipliers that we have for some of our certain players and positions, and then we'll jump into what happened in the game. So this looks like a reporter. So Taylor Bennett still undefeated. Congratulations. There's still a lot of season left, but you guys have clearly established yourselves as one of the teams to beat in the league this season. I can't wait to see how far you can extend this streak. Okay, so 100 legacy points for me as a coach. Always nice to know. I'll bump up in the rankings quite a bit, and it is a hell of a start to Curtis Martin's coaching journey, going 5-0 to begin his debut season. So obviously, they're taking a lot of hints and cues from their legendary running back coach for the franchise. We're going to move into our breakout player and see if he was able to do anything. So this is the receiver, Eli Rogers. I gave it everything I had out there, coach, but I don't know. Maybe you don't think I'm talented enough to be a number one receiver. Okay, so if I remember correctly, his goal was he needed to catch either 2 touchdowns or he needed to have a 100+ yard receiving game. So we'll see how he did, but he obviously missed out on it. We have another potential breakout player, it looks like. Defensive coordinator, Brian Poole had a pretty quiet game out there. You think I should have called the game differently, put him in better situations, or maybe he's just not as talented as I thought he was? Okay. He also had a goal of something like 2+ interceptions, forced fumbles, um, and something recovered, forced fumbles, interceptions, and I think a certain amount of tackles or some of that nature. And then our offensive coordinator, great win coach Fletcher Cox is an absolute beast, and it's always awesome to come away with the win against the Eagles. So we did get a boost for the offensive line after satisfying what the offensive coordinator was looking for. So let's go ahead and jump into the game. Taking a look at it, we did get crushed in the offensive part by the Eagles. They lit us up with quite a fair amount of pass yards. Our game was a little bit more balanced, but overall, I felt we were a little bit ineffective. We just happened to execute and come away with a lot more defensive plays than the Eagles were able to. So Carson Wentz, he puts up 3. We get 2 interceptions. We come away with a pair of sacks. They get a pair of sacks as well. And Sam Darnold has an overall well-managed game, going for 183 yards and a touchdown. In the running game, Le'Veon Bell puts up 75 yards in 22 attempts. He does score, I believe, his first touchdown of the season for us. Nyheim Hines, who they traded for in the preseason, we were able to keep to an all-time low of just 14 yards on 11 attempts. Montgomery gets in there a little bit more this game around, but only gets 9 yards in 3 attempts. And same with Powell, 6 on 3, but he does get into the end zone. In the receiving game, we had a lot of trouble containing Zach Ertz, but overall, considering the talent level of our defense, I feel like we were able to do a satisfactory job. Deshaun Jackson goes for 74 yards. Nyheim Hines did his damage in the receiving game, picking up 72 yards on 7 receptions. Aguilar puts up 56. Herndon comes away with the touchdown of the game for us, getting 49 yards. Bell doing more damage as well as we continue to improve that offensive line, with him averaging somewhere about 5 receptions a game. He should be able to take much, much better advantage of all the opportunities he's getting. And then Crowder, 30 yards. Eli Rogers, nowhere near his goal. 2 receptions, 30 yards. Quincy Enunwa, a disappointing game as well. And nobody else to really speak of. Let's take a look at the defense. So, our top players getting their solo tackles: Mosley, Poole, and Adams rounding out our top 3. Who got into the backfield? CJ Mosley, Adams cleaning up a bit, Mackenzie Alexander, Jenkins, Quinnen Williams still getting in there, and then Shepard as well. We picked up 2 sacks. Quinnen Williams, the rookie, putting another one on the stat sheet for us this season. And then Brian Poole was able to get one from that slot position. We came away with 2 picks. Mackenzie Alexander gets one, the young rookie cornerback that we traded with the Vikings for, that will be looking to develop as the season gets underway, and Avery Williamson. Fantastic. Okay, and then forced fumble wise, Jamal Adams has been laying the hammer all season on people. He comes away with two for the season, and then we did get a defensive touchdown with Mackenzie Alexander having a pick six early in the first quarter. Well, overall, really solid. Again, we're definitely exceeding expectations had for the season, but I will never tank. So I'm ecstatic that we are 5-0. Hopefully, we get a great amount of experience for our players over the course of this season. And as we get some more players for Curtis Martin to work with under his tutelage, hopefully we can continue trends just like this because I don't expect anybody to have had the Jets on the list of players team, excuse me, to be coming out the gates 5-0. Now we have some upgrades as well. We have Chris Herndon here. We're just going to go ahead and give him some possession upgrades. And of course, tight ends always get a huge boost everywhere. His top one's going to catching, his pass blocking, and the run blocking, which is nice to see. Mackenzie Alexander already getting one. We're going to go ahead and upgrade. I think I want to upgrade his slot so we can get his tackling up just a little bit as well. And we get plus 2 man coverage and some tackling. So perfect upgrade for us. We'll be able to develop him as he's still pretty young, and we'll have about another season with him before we need to figure out contract wise what we want to do. Ty Montgomery, we'll just give him another elusive back. He picks up +1 in a few different categories, and then the young tackle Chuma Idoga, we're going to go ahead and boost up the agile so we can continue his trend of getting as much experience as possible. +2 run blocking. I doubt we will be able to overall do much with them. His run block and pass block are very low. Technique wise, he's better in finesse in the passing department, but just not a whole lot for us to truly build on. But you can see how poorly across the league offensive line talent has been getting developed because he is the number 35 ranked tackle at 67 overall, meaning he's basically a low end starter is what Madden is telling us. Disappointing, but we've seen a lot of great talent in our scouting so far for potential players we can see that'll come onto the line and help us contribute quite a bit. So we are going to be facing the Cowboys this week. And as normal, I want to give you guys a breakdown of what the roster is looking like. Check out some of these X factors and breakout players that we have. And then we can take a look at the scouting as well. So let's get into it. CJ Mosley says, Coach, nobody holds this defense to a higher standard than me, and I've always tried to lead by example. I made a few plays last week, but I have to do more. If I want this defense to play like all pros, it starts with me. Talking like a true leader. So I'm planning on single-handedly destroying the boys on offense this week. I hope the rest of the defense follows my lead. So our game day goal, we want to hold them to less than 150 total yards. That is a wild achievement. Or if CJ Mosley can get 3+ of either interceptions, forced fumbles, tackles for losses, or sacks. So we'll see. CJ Mosley has been a beast for us all season. Our offensive coordinator says, Coach, we need to think about prioritizing the run this week because Byron Jones is going to be shadowing our receivers all game. He's one of the most disciplined zone corners in the league, and I think we're much better off if we throw away from his side of the field. So even in real life, Byron Jones is kind of underrated but a beast at the same time because he doesn't get the big play interceptions much like Revis did, which I'm not placing him in that category, but he is going to get those pass deflection stats filled way up. He's not going to let you get the ball if he's around. But as we mentioned, the only thing we can really do this season is slow him down for anybody that we're pretty much facing. So yeah, Jones poses a big problem, but I think we'll be fine as long as we play smart, balanced football. No silly throws, no panicky decisions, no turnovers. Don't let them intimidate us. I'm on board, Coach, but all that being said, I still try to throw away from Jones whenever possible. It might be a good game to target our tight end and utilize some screens to our running backs. So we want to beat them and throw 1 or less interceptions. And then for the halfback. So, hey, Coach, what's the game plan for Ezekiel Elliott? He's going to be hard to contain, but if we figure out how their offense falls apart, how do you want to handle him? I feel like we actually do have a strong run game. So for this particular one, I'm going to say let's neutralize him. Force Dak to try to throw it on us. We need to do everything in our power to shut him down. If he fails, the entire Dallas offense fails with him. That's going to be easier said than done, I think, but I'm on board. So hold him to 50 rush yards and 0 touchdowns. Okay, lesson learned. Until we get a much better upgraded defense, we won't be doing anything silly like that anymore. But let's check out some more of the incoming talent that we're going to have. So we're scouting some of our halfbacks, and if you haven't been able to see the previous videos with the scouting, I've kind of mentioned my goal is to uncover basically the first 3 rounds of talent, hopefully for all of the positions that we have coming in, and then we'll start worrying about some of our depth pieces depending on the draft picks and stuff that we have for those rounds. Now, taking a look at the Dallas Cowboys and what they have going on for us. So, Dak Prescott leading the way for them, of course. Ezekiel Elliott leading the way. Not a whole lot of depth behind him in terms of phenomenal talent that's been brought in. Amari Cooper, of course, leading the way for them. They have Randall Cobb to take some pressure off, and the young Michael Gallup and Allen Hurns to assist in the receiving game. Jason Witten still doing his thing. Jermaine Gresham trying to eke out the last little bits of his career, and they have a young Blake Jarwin that they've stashed in hopes that he takes over for Jason Witten. Now, most likely and arguably the best offensive line in the NFL. Tyron Smith leading the way for them. On the left side, Connor Williams, Travis Frederick. We have Zach Martin and then La'el Collins to round it off. So we're going to have our hands full trying to definitely contain Ezekiel Elliott. DeMarcus Lawrence leading the way for them as well with Robert Quinn there. Tyrone Crawford, Randy Gregory, Malik Collins, Christian Covington. So a pretty strong defensive line. And then they have Sean Lee still. Jalen Smith bouncing back from that tragic injury that he had to become a star in the middle of their defense. And then Leiter Van Der Esch to round out a very, very deadly linebacking core as well. And then in the cornerback department, we're facing Byron Jones, a young Chidobe Awuzie, who's been developing fairly nice for them, and then Anthony Brown and Jordan Lewis to keep a pretty young core intact here. Xavier Woods and then Darian Stewart on the back end. So we are going to have, as normal, I'm sure, our fair amount of problems dealing with this defense. But with that said, we are going to see if we continue our trend and we come out of this 6-0 to give him a continuous perfect start on the season, or if we will fall to the immense talent that the Cowboys have. But other than that, guys, I want to thank you guys for checking out the video and watching. Please like, share, subscribe. Any and all feedback would definitely be welcome. I know, especially since we're working on limited equipment and editing right now. But any ideas and stuff that you guys have would also be great. With that said, I'm definitely currently working on trying to improve. If not one specific thing, then as many small things in the meantime as possible. But let me know what you guys want to see. Obviously, I know with this being at least starting off a sim series, it would be great to see some game talent. But if you guys don't mind, especially for the first season, just kind of getting a breakdown like this, feel free to give me a shout out and let me know. But with that said, it's your boy Jersey Boy. I'm out, guys. We'll see you next time.
PlayStation